Here we go again. Yes, it's another Vinyl Thoughts. Today we're going to talk about a record that comes from a band that over the years has become one of my favorite bands of all time. We're talking about the very first album from the band Rush. This is an original 1974 pressing of this album. And for those of you who don't really know about this album, this is not only the band's first album, but it's the only album that features the drummer John Rusty before they ended up getting Neil Peart, who wrote all their lyrics for the most part and really added a lot of dynamics to the band. And the band that you probably know as Rush began with him joining the band. This doesn't really sound a lot like that. Maybe you can hear some hints, because you still got Geddy Lee on the vocals and the bass, and Alex Lifeson, one of my favorite guitar players ever on guitar. But this album is so interesting to listen to for me because it almost kind of sounds like the dudes from Rush had a different band before they started Rush. It's a more raw, straightforward rock sound. Some people like to say it sounds very similar to some Led Zeppelin, but to be honest, Led Zeppelin never did an album as good as this one. And so, obviously, I really like it. So, yeah, there's the dudes right there. Pretty fucking cool. Let's take a look at the actual vinyl. I like the little insert for this because it's talks about tape piracy. Stop taking these vinyls and putting them on cassette tapes. It's harming the artists. Anyway, there you go. With that good old Mercury. Yeah. Mercury Records label from back in the day. Yeah, and it's a fucking cool album. It's just a good rock and roll album. Sure, it doesn't really have the progressive elements that would come into play on later Rush albums. I guess Working Man has a little bit of that, but to me, Working Man almost sounds more like what Black Sabbath would do when they had a song that was a little bit more lengthy. It's heavy, it's cool, it's a fucking great album, and yeah, I love every Rush album, but this one, if you're a Rush fan, this one's just fun to listen to. It's super fun to throw on, it's heavy, it just has that nice, cool 70s rock vibe to it, and then you get, young-ass Geddy Lee screeching away on it, and that's either you love it or you hate it. I personally love it. So anyway, you may be into Rush, you may totally hate Rush. Either way, I would check out this album because you either love Rush and this will be fun to listen to, or you don't like Rush and you might actually like this album because it's the most un-Rush album they ever put out. But anyway, that's all for today. I will be back very soon with another video because I'm always working on these videos. They call me the working man. I guess that's what I am. See you guys next time.